We're about to pull back the curtain on this invisible war that's being fought for our digital security, literally every single day. And what you're going to see isn't some kind of science fiction. Nope. This is a snapshot of the real-world threats that popped up in just one 24-hour period, and it's all based on official reports.
So, let's set the scene. The date is January 14th, 2026. While you were doing your thing, working, streaming your favorite show, connecting with friends, a hidden battle was absolutely raging. You had cybersecurity researchers, huge companies, and yeah, malicious attackers all hard at work. And everything we're about to get into happened in just that single day.
So you might be wondering, how do we get this window into the secret world of cyber threats? Well, it's thanks to something called a CVE. The easiest way to think of it is like a unique fingerprint for every single known security flaw out there. It's this global public list that acts as a really crucial early warning system, showing us exactly where the digital dangers are hiding.
And that brings us right to our case study, the CVE report from January 14th. Let's break down what was discovered and, more importantly, what it means for all of us.
So, on this one day, dozens of new security holes were officially put on the books. And the scope, it is staggering. We're talking about everything from the little plugin on your local coffee shop's website, all the way up to the massive hardware that powers global corporations. The biggest takeaway here? Nobody is immune.
Let's start with something you're probably familiar with, even if you don't realize it, WordPress. It powers a huge, huge portion of the websites you visit every single day. And its massive ecosystem of plugins, well, that creates an enormous surface area where things can and definitely do go wrong. And on January 14th, oh yeah, things went wrong. Just take a look at this. An AI integration plugin, a tool for designing blogs, even a shipping rate calculator, all of them with serious vulnerabilities. Now, what really jumps out here are those severity scores. I mean, a 9.8 is already critical, but look, one of these went even higher.
10.0. That's the score for a flaw in the Modular DS plugin. A CVSS score of 10 is the highest rating you can possibly get. It means a vulnerability isn't just critical, it's also incredibly easy to exploit, requiring no special access at all. It's basically the digital equivalent of finding the front door of a bank wide open with the key just sitting in the lock.
So what do these attacks actually look like? Let's take that shipping rate by cities plugin. It was vulnerable to something called an SQL injection. To put it simply, an attacker can just type a malicious command into a normal form field, like, say, the city box. That command then tricks the website's database into just dumping out sensitive information. It's a classic attack, but it's still devastatingly effective.
Okay, this next one is a brilliant way to understand another common attack. The Integration Obvious AI plugin had what's called a path traversal flaw. So imagine your website is a secure office building. An attacker should only have access to the public mailroom, right? But this vulnerability, it's like a broken door lock that lets them use their basic mailroom key to walk straight into the CEO's office. And once they're inside, they can read or even delete the most critical files, pretty much taking over the entire site.
Now, as serious as website flaws are, they are just the tip of the iceberg. On the exact same day, vulnerabilities were found in the core infrastructure built by some of the biggest names in tech. I'm talking about the very hardware and software our entire digital world is built on.
And here's the really crucial point. When a vulnerability hits at this level, the ripple effects can be absolutely enormous. We're not talking about just one website going down anymore. We're talking about the potential to disrupt the foundational systems that connect millions of people and businesses.
A perfect example, Hewlett-Packard Enterprise. On January 14th, they disclosed multiple SQL injection flaws. Yep, that same type of attack again, but this time in their enterprise networking equipment. This isn't some small plugin. This is the hardware that large companies use to manage their network traffic all over the globe.
And then you've got NVIDIA. They reported a command injection vulnerability in a graphics tool that developers use. Now, this type of flaw is incredibly dangerous. It could let an attacker execute their own code on the system, and from there, escalate their privileges to take complete and total control. So we've gone from websites to corporate infrastructure. Now let's bring it even closer to home, to the flaws found in the operating systems and the fundamental code running on the very devices in your pocket and sitting on your desk.
Huawei disclosed a whole series of vulnerabilities in its Harmony OS, which runs on everything from their phones to their smartwatches. A lot of these were race condition flaws. It's a tricky kind of bug where an attacker exploits a tiny timing glitch in the software's operations to cause crashes or other unpredictable and, yeah, potentially dangerous behavior.
Okay, this one might be the most fundamental threat of all. Inside software makes the firmware, the BIOS or UEFI, that literally starts your computer before your operating system even loads. And multiple vulnerabilities were found here that could let an attacker corrupt memory at the most basic level of the machine. It's a pretty stark reminder that no layer of our tech is perfectly secure.
Okay, I know, that was a lot of doom and gloom. It can feel pretty overwhelming, but here's the good news. The disclosure of these flaws is actually the first step in making all of us safer. This whole thing is part of a continuous and really crucial cycle.
And this is what that cycle looks like. First, a flaw is discovered. Then it gets disclosed, hopefully responsibly, to the company so they can fix it. The company then creates a patch, a software fix. And finally, and this is the key part for us, we, the users, need to apply that update. It is a constant race between the defenders patching the holes and the attackers trying to get through them.
So what's your role in this race? It's pretty simple, but it is absolutely vital. Turn on automatic updates for everything: your phone, your computer, your browser, your apps. If you run a website, make sure your plugins auto-update. And just practice good digital hygiene. Use a password manager for strong, unique passwords, and be relentlessly suspicious of unexpected emails and links. It goes a long way. The biggest takeaway from this single day of threats is really this. Cybersecurity isn't a product you can just go out and buy or a setting you can just flick on and forget about. It is a constant, ongoing process that requires vigilance from developers, from companies, and from every single one of us.
And all of this leaves us with a final, really important question. We've just seen dozens of new threats emerge in a mere 24 hours, in our websites, our infrastructure, our own devices, and as fast as we patch them, new ones are always appearing. So in this world of constant digital threats, what does it truly mean to be safe?